Hi, I just did a whole video without my mic on, so I'm going to do it again. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I appreciate it. I appreciate watching this. This is going to be kind of raw. I probably won't cry because I'm not as emotional as I was yesterday, but I'm sitting in my car doing this video because, first of all, I don't really have anything in my house except my bed to sit on, and done a few videos with that. You don't need to see that anymore. I don't have any interesting background since I don't really have any furniture left hardly. So anyway, this is a really emotional week because I'm getting rid of my car this week. I'm getting rid of my bed and my desk and table, which is basically the last big pieces of furniture I have left. And I hate to admit that I'm so attached to my car, and I am really struggling with getting rid of it. They're picking it up this afternoon between 2 and 5, and I'm really struggling. And getting really emotional about it, and it's just a thing. And I'm not going to need it where I'm going. You definitely need it in America, and I'm still going to be here for a few more weeks, but I need to get rid of it today or tomorrow, today, because I have a live-in assignment coming up and only a couple days after that, and I wanted to make sure everything went smoothly. I didn't want them to get to the last minute and say, oh, we can't pick it up until such and such, and I'm already gone. So I arranged it that way. A friend's going to loan me their vehicle, so I'll have a vehicle when I do the live-in assignment in case something happens to the pets or I need to go to the store for food or something. But I got pretty attached to this car, and I think one of the reasons is because sorry if I'm looking around, I'm sitting in a public place. So I've only really named my vehicles. I know some people name their vehicles, and it seems so silly, but I had a Mustang convertible years ago, and I just called that my blue baby. But I've never really named any of my vehicles, and this is a VW Jetta, and so I just call her Jetta, but I gave her a gender. So this is my girl, and it's so silly, but it makes it harder to let it go because it's like I've given it an identity, which is so silly, I know, but anyway, and also just the attachment that we have to our vehicles in America is it's ridiculous, but you kind of need a car here. I won't need it where I'm going, so I'll get over it pretty quickly, I'm sure. But that's a tough one. Getting rid of my bed, I love my bed, is going to be tough. They're picking that up on Friday, and so I'll be sleeping on an air mattress, and then I have a live-in assignment, and so I won't need a bed, and after that I only have like 2 or 3 nights, I think, before I head to Tucson and fly out of here. So that'll be on an air mattress, and the only thing that bothers me about that is it's monsoon season here, and I've had a lot of spiders in my house, and I am arachnophobic. So sleeping near the floor freaks me out because I don't want spiders crawling on me. I found quite a few lately, and it just, but I'll get over it, and I'll live through it. But being dramatic here. But anyway, yesterday, it really hit me that I was getting rid of my car, and I couldn't have done this video yesterday. I would have just been sobbing. But it was so interesting because I believe the universe gives us messages in all kinds of ways, and music is a big one. And I got in my car to go get a cup of coffee, and immediately the song on the radio was REM, It's the End of the World as We Know It. And I thought, oh my God, yes, that's so true. It is the end of the world as I know it. This is what's happening. It's going to be a whole new world for me coming up, and something I've never experienced before. And I'm looking forward to it, but that got me emotional. I was like, yep, you're right, it is. And then I got my coffee and I got back in the car, and the next song that was playing was Simple Man by Leonard Skinner. And then I think I burst into tears because, with the lyrics, and I wrote them down because, I'd forget them. But don't you worry, you'll find yourself. Follow your heart and nothing else. And you can do this, oh baby, if you try. Obviously, I'm not going to try and sing it. I can't sing. All that I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied. And I kind of lost it there. And then I had a pretty emotional day, just realizing that this is it. It's very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. But these are the final things I'm leaving behind, and it's tough. They're kind of big. I haven't had too much difficulty getting rid of most of my other possessions. I've gone through a lot of emotions doing it because, first of all, I was shocked at how much I had. Just the excess was ridiculous. Part of that was because when my husband was working, he was transferred to different locations, different states, and they'd put us up in a rental house. And so we still had our house, but we would move to another state for 18 months or so. And well, he did a job there. And then, of course, we'd accumulate things there and then bring those back. And then that would happen again. And then eventually we sold our house and bought a new place. He retired and we settled in another state and put everything in one place. But it was ridiculous. I had enough, especially with our Costco lifestyle here in America. I had enough Q-tips, for example, to last 10 years. I'm still using Q-tips from 10 years ago. So it's just ridiculous, the excess. But at any rate, I sold my house when my husband died 6 years ago. I sold the house because I didn't want to shovel snow anymore. I wanted to be in a warmer climate. And I moved to another state, where I am now. And then I wanted to downsize then. I had like a 4-bedroom house, and I had a couple garage sales and got rid of quite a number of things, but I still had to rent a pod and fill my truck and move that across the country, and paid for that expense. Got a rental, and the rental was a 3-bedroom. It had to be big because I had so much stuff. I intended to go through it. I was still suffering from trauma and healing, and I wasn't ready. And then I bought a place and moved across town, and the place was bigger than I really wanted because I had so much stuff. And then 2020, decided I wanted to move to Mexico. And so I started to get rid of things again, and didn't complete that because, for obvious reasons, it was 2020 and we all know what happened then. And it wasn't easy to move to Mexico. So that was derailed a little bit, and I'm grateful now that was. But then I sold that place because it was kind of a money pit, and I had to buy a whole new HVAC, new washer dryer, new fridge, constant repairs, you name it. And that was kind of a nightmare. So I decided I've had enough of owning homes and having to fix everything. And who says we have to? We're in America. That's the dream. You own a home, and you should always own a home. And I didn't want to anymore. And so I then sold that place, moved to a new city in the state that I'm still in, and rented a 2-bedroom place. Well, then I had to put stuff in storage because I didn't have enough space for it all. Now I'm finally at the end where I'm almost gone. Everything's almost gone. It's just, but the shock of realizing when I finally went through everything, the excess of what I had, the amount of things I had that I didn't remember I had. The amount of things that I never even used that were brand new, that I didn't even need. I was absolutely embarrassed and ashamed that I had this amount of crap. And I've gotten rid of it through consignment. I've gotten rid of it through straight up sales. I've gotten rid of it by giving it away to friends and people in need. I've given things to donation sites. What else? Consignment. What I would do now, I wouldn't recommend, but I mean, initially what I wish I had done in the very beginning, 6 years ago, was have an estate sale. That would have been the perfect way to get rid of everything and get the maximum value for everything. But, and of course, I also sold things online, just locally, not shipping anything. And that was kind of a pain because if a lot of people waste your time, they'll say, yeah, I'll meet you and I want to buy this. And then they don't show up, or they're late, or they get there and, oh, I don't have change. And, oh, can we just, and try and reduce the price at the last minute. And there's also scammers. I encountered one scammer that immediately, I was preoccupied, I was really busy, and they said, can you text me? And so I texted them off the site, and I said, don't do that, because then they had my phone number. And what they did then is they got a Google code, which comes to my number, of course. And so I saw the Google code, and then they asked me to send them the Google code as proof that I'm not a scammer. Well, I'm not. I was stupid enough to give them my phone number, but I wasn't stupid enough to fall for that. Don't fall for that. That's how they steal your identity and get into your accounts and destroy you financially. So don't ever give anyone a Google code. So I immediately blocked them and never made that mistake again. Don't give out your phone number. Just stick to the site. I met people in public places, and I never had any issue with anything like that. But as a single person in an apartment, it's a little harder to sell things. I can't just have somebody come to my house. I can't have a garage sale. I can't have people coming to my house, obviously. But yeah, what else? Yeah, consignment, Goodwill, and direct sales. I had a consignment place pick up most of my furniture, and they bought it directly. I sold a bunch of books and things. You can also scan photos and things like that, or have a site that will do that for you. I scanned them all myself because I didn't want everything scanned. I had a lot of photos though from my parents, and I scanned those. I also had letters that my mother had written, copies of letters that my mother had written from the 1940s through the 1960s. And I scanned all of those. And somewhere in that process, I was, saving them. And somewhere in that process, I deleted them. I don't know how I did it. I think I took them out of, where I was storing them temporarily and forgot that I hadn't put them back and deleted everything. So all those weeks of scanning and all that excitement about reading these, it was like a diary of my mom's life, things that I never even knew about her. And I was planning on reading that, on plane rides and things like that. And I deleted them. Well, we know nothing's gone forever. And, if you have cloud, that's great. I didn't. And if you have, I have a Mac, and if you have, what's it called? I wrote it down on my notes. Time Machine. Yeah, I used to have Time Machine, but I wasn't able to access it for some reason, so I haven't been using Time Machine. And, I wasn't using an external drive. So be sure you use one of those backups. because I lost everything and I was just devastated. I did get it back, and I have no affiliation with this site, but I would highly recommend them if you find yourself in my position where you have no other backup and you think it's gone forever. It's not. I downloaded Disk Drill, DISK Drill, and got my stuff, all the letters back within minutes. So that was really wonderful. Saved me, because I had a lot of guilt over that, because I felt like I had let my mother down. What else do I want to talk about? Just the shock of all the excess of what I owned was ridiculous. Sorry, I'm looking around because I'm in a public place. I'm going to have to cut this short soon too, because it's getting hot in the car. Anyway, the shame that I felt, I've never really heard anybody talk about this. And also be prepared for the emotions, you might feel guilty. I felt guilty because obviously I was getting rid of gifts that people had given me, and there's sentimental value to things like that. And so I felt guilty getting rid of it. But yeah, you'll go through all the emotions. There were times when I had a plan for the day and I couldn't follow through because it was too hard. I wasn't ready. And I wasn't ready to go through the photos. And so I'd have to stop and do something else and come back to it the next day or even a week later. And so allow yourself enough time to get rid of things. Maybe it's easier for some people to just get rid of everything within a month or whatever and go. But for me, it was more difficult. And I want to tell you a story too, because I was talking about how the universe sends signs, and I know they did through the songs yesterday, but I know they've sent me signs through the years, because I've had a lot of things and I've had nothing. I've had a lot of things and I've had nothing, and a lot of things and nothing throughout my life. And I've tried to get rid of things multiple times and still ended up accumulating things again. But I've also been ripped off numerous times in my life. 3 of them were vehicles, and in vehicles, not my car stolen, but breaking the window and breaking in. And I don't keep anything valuable in my car, so it was just damage done for nothing. The rest were homes that I lived in, different homes. And I lost count how many times I've been ripped off. But the biggest one, I think I was around 24 or 25, and this is a doozy. I've never before or since been ripped off like this. But I had a 2-bedroom apartment, and a coworker was having personal problems and needed a place to stay temporarily, so I let her stay in my place. And I went away. I think it was Memorial Day weekend, and I went away for 4 days. She's the only one who knew I was gone for 4 days. Yeah. So I come home, and she's got this story that, oh my God, I walked in on these people last night, and they were just running out the back door, and it was so scary. And yeah, I hit my microphone, sorry. And I didn't buy the story, but I didn't bother saying, I know you did this. It was just pointless. But the shock of it, and of course, everything, my furniture was gone, my TV was gone, the stereo was gone, of course, all those things were gone. But it took a while to really hit me just how severe this was, because I was in such shock. It's like I went, they didn't take my bed, but they took all the sheets and the pillows. So all my bedding, probably for padding, and so there was that. I didn't have any bedding. Then I get up in the morning and I want to take a shower, and I realize, wait a minute, I don't have any towels. And then I went to put my makeup on, and I realized that all my makeup was gone. And then I went to get something to eat, and I realized there was no food in my fridge or my cupboards. And it just slowly set in just how cleaned out I was. and that she was obviously setting up house elsewhere. Some of my clothes were gone. None of her clothes were gone, but some of my clothes were gone. And then I think I went and bought a can of soup or something, and I was going to eat that, and I realized, wait a minute, I don't have a can opener. And then I realized I don't have any silverware. So, I mean, completely cleaned out. She stripped me clean. And, you know, to this day, if she's still alive, God only knows, she had some issues. But to this day, I'm sure she thinks that I bought that story. But anyway, that was one, I think, where the universe was trying to tell me, just stop getting attached to things. Just let it go. Let it go. And it's happened numerous times since then, but not that insanely. Yeah, but I'm going to cut this off now. Appreciate you watching and listening to my rambling and my stories. But if you have anything else to offer, you know, I'd love to hear your comments. And I think I say "and" a lot when I'm doing videos. I'll try and work on that. Anyway, it's getting really hot in my car because I'm in a hot state. And yeah, the only other thing I want to say is, yeah, just thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you as soon as I can. Thanks. Bye. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording.